The doorbell rang the afternoon of July 5, 1942, and Frank, 13 years old, expected it to be a friend. Instead, it was the postman with a letter for her older sister Margot, telling Margot to report for transfer to work camp. The news shocked Anne and Margot's mom, Edith Frank. World War II had been going on for almost 3 years. Germany had overrun much of Europe. More and more Jews like the Franks were being rounded up and sent to concentration camps. Otto Frank had arrived home and reassured his daughters that no one was going to break up their family. He and Edith had been making secret plans. He told Anne and Margot to pack their school bags. The first thing Anne put in hers was red and green checkered diary. She had already begun filling the diary with pre-write thoughts. The next morning, the Franks abandoned their homes in heavy rain. They went to a small warehouse at the company Otto had owned before the German invasion and disappeared in the secret apartment upstairs. There they would hide for more than 2 years. During that time, Anne poured out her thoughts and feelings on paper. In her diary, Anne referred to their hiding place as the secret annex. The annex was fairly comfortable, though not roomy. It included a kitchen, bathroom, and cold running water. Each room doubled as living area as well as bedroom. There was a single entrance hidden behind the bookcase. They covered all of the room's windows to block any light from showing at night. Those hiding were greatly aided by their helpers. This was Anne's term for the non-Jewish friend who had promised to supply them with food and other things they needed. They included Miep Cheese, her husband Jan, and other friends and former employees of Otto Frank and Herman van Pels. They risk imprisonment and execution for helping hide Jews. The helpers never complained. Anne wrote in her diary instead they came upstairs each day with smile, newspaper, and maybe best of all conversation. During the week, employees worked a floor below the secret apartment. This forced Anne and everyone else to be perfectly silent. They had to move about and tiptoe and whisper. No one could run water or flush the toilet for fear someone would hear them. The Nazis were promising rewards to anyone who turned in Jews. If Anne and her family were caught, they would be instantly arrested. During the hours before silence, Anne wrote in her diary. She told about her family and housemates included in all family photos. She described her feelings about growing into a young woman under such grim circumstances. Many times she expressed despair and great fear they would be caught. She quickly filled her first diary and moved on the notebooks and sheets loose paper. Writing became a way for Anne to cope with fear and boredom, to shake off all her cares and sorrows. She shared dreams of becoming a journalist or maybe an actress and pasted pictures of movie stars on the wall in her little room. When all the workers were gone, Anne and the others could wander downstairs but never outside. They often gathered around the radio to listen broadcast. In June 1944, they heard welcome news. The ALIS had landed huge invasion force in France. In the east, the Soviet Union was forcing the Germans to retreat. Anne's father began keeping the track of the war's progress on a wall map. Hope grew that Nazis would be soon defeated and Franks and their friends could return to freedom. On August 4, 1944, the secret police raided the hidden apartment. To this day, no one knows for sure how the hiding place was discovered. The Franks and the others could do nothing but raise their hands gunpoint. The German officer was stunned to learn the group had been hiding there for more than 2 years. The police searched every corner of the secret annex. They discovered a stash of paper and notebooks, Anne's diary, and scattered them on the floor. Miep Cheese, one of the helpers, later gathered them up and put them in a desk drawer. She had every She had every hope of returning them to Anne after the war. In early September 1944, the Franks were shipped to Auschwitz concentration camp in Poland. There, the family was split up. Otto was sent to the men's camp. Edith, Anne, and Margot were sent to women's camp. The winter cold, tiny amounts of food, and back-breaking work took terrible toll. Edith did her best to help Margot and Anne, even giving them all her food, but November 1st, the girls were separated from their mothers. The Nazis sent Margot and Anne to different concentration camps in Germany. Otto Frank survived. He returned to Amsterdam, already knowing his wife had starved to death at Auschwitz. However, he held out hope Margot and Anne still lived. Anne Frank, the diary of a young girl, first appeared in print in the Netherlands 2 years after the war and eventually became a bestseller around the world. For many readers, Anne's story puts personal face on the terrors of the Holocaust. She was a young, talented writer whose full life was stolen from her. The full extent of her talent and potential was also stolen from the world.